Okay. Going now.
Okay.
Go again.
Hello. Okay.
What were you saying?
So basically, I just thought we'd talk about informal assessment to begin with.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something that I've discussed a lot. I don't know, like just in other classes as well. But I feel like it's something that we've talked about a lot already.
I feel like with my case study students, most of my assessments so far have been informal, just because like in 434, I've only met with my case study student twice. There's been like other things for 434 to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like informal assessment's been really helpful to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know definitely the first day, like the entire day was like informal assessment, like icebreaker activities and like get to know you kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't know. We've definitely hit on this topic a lot.
There was like a 3-page take-home student assessment in the book, and it was very informational. Like if your students took it home and filled it out with their parents, I think you get like so much information out of it. But is that something that we should do with our case study student? Like, should we print out the 3-page thing and send it home and be like, fill this out with your family and bring it back?
I feel like I wouldn't do that with my case study student. I feel like if I was a teacher, I would probably adapt something like that.
Don't feel like I'm getting enough information in all the categories, etc.
Yeah, me either. I feel like for my student, like when I ask her like direct questions, she like gets really like put on the spot and like she'll just be like, I don't know. Like even like if it comes up like we'll just be talking about it. Like I think I asked her like she was saying we were talking about the school because we were writing an opinion paper about the school. So we were like talking about things that she does and doesn't like. And then I asked her like, well, how many years like have you gone to this school? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, did you go here last year? And she was like, no. And I was like, where did you go? Like, were you in Mexico or were you here? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, and she just was like, I don't know, like how long I lived in Mexico. I don't know where I was last year. And so I think that like the whole like drawing a picture, one of those types of informal assessments rather than an interview, like I feel like I would just get so much more information and let her choose what to like share.
Or just trying to like incorporate it into your activities, because I think I've been having a hard time with like direct questions too. Like my case study student is having a hard time with direct questions. And the thing is that she doesn't mind talking to me. She doesn't mind answering the questions. I think it's just like
when you're like, she feels
exactly. Even if I'm talking to other students, you're right. It's like the something I ask a direct question. It seems scary, and it's probably because they need a time to like translate and then process and then translate again, and then like they feel awkward just sitting there staring at you or thinking about that. So they just say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I guess that we should think about ways to interview kids that aren't asking direct questions.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that if I can get like, so there's obviously not many times where I can just like take her whole table group and just have like a fun conversation, but like when we can all talk about something, I can just listen to what she says, and that gives me a lot of information, but she feels like she's talking to like her peers, like rather than like, I think like just like when the teacher, like, and I've only met with her twice too, so someone you don't know very well is asking you like a very specific question about your life, I just feel like that kind of like shut you down a little bit.
Yeah, number one, it's hard to answer your question. Number two, it doesn't feel personal if you don't know the person. Like, why should I tell this stranger?
Exactly.
Yeah, one of the other issues with if you're gonna try and do it with like less direct questions is it's really difficult to get the information you need to fill out those assessments, like the Solum or the AQS. That was really hard to do.
Those are very direct questions.
So I don't know. It's almost like you kind of have to like find a happy medium where maybe you will incorporate direct questions, but maybe you'll also have some indirect ones too.
The other thing that I'm struggling with is that I haven't had any one-on-one time with my case study student, because the focus of 434 is teaching mini lessons, and that happens in a group. Yeah, I have 3 students, and they're not even all the same age, and so I just feel like I don't know when I'm going to get that one-on-one time with my student. Yeah, because the student that I'm working with is more quiet than the other 2 students that I'm working with. So when I ask a general question to the group, she's the last one to respond or doesn't respond. And I don't know how to tell the other one, hey, stop dogging, so she can answer, because that'll put more pressure on her. And I don't know, I really need the one-on-one time, and I don't see the opportunity to get it.
I
Yeah.
exactly how I feel with 4:30.
And something else that's been really hard on our class is around Mondays. And Mondays are the time of the quarter where we've missed like 3 Mondays.
Yeah.
So,
I just feel like I don't have enough info.
And even, like, I haven't started going into the classroom at 4:34 yet, like, at the end of the day, but when I do, I don't know if the teacher will be okay with me pulling my student out for one-on-one time, or, like, I think her science teacher last class of the day, so she's a 7th grader, so she's moving around, and just, like, it's not really fair to
Ask the teacher to do that.
Yeah, I don't feel like, I don't necessarily deserve those 10 minutes of time when you could probably, like, I probably have more, what you see is more important, you know?
Mhm.
Especially since we are an after-school program. Like, teachers are not asked to set aside time for us.
Yeah.
Because we're an after-school program. So any time that we take is time that, like, we're personally asking to take from our teachers.
Mhm. I'd almost prefer, like, another practicum with this class where it's just, like, just a case study student during a different time or something. I just don't feel like we've really been cohesive so far.
yeah, there's definitely some overlap, but it's hard to balance both of them.
Mhm.
It's like there's this clashing information.
Which kind of brings us into the service learning journal. No.
No, it really does, because we're not sure what the service learning journal is.
And we were kind of under the impression that 434 would explain that, but 434 just was pretty much said, oh, we'll keep track of the time in the class, and we don't have to have anyone sign off on it.
Yeah, we don't even have a journal.
Yeah.
So my understanding of it is that we just, like, write down what we're doing with our student, how it went, what we want to work on, what we felt like went well, but I'm not sure the link how that's supposed to be, or.
Yeah, I wish I had already been doing that, because now I'll have to go back and try and
Well, I
remember.
didn't know.
But it still said it's recording. That was really weird.
I don't know if this is working. I hope so.
It says it's still recording. Oh, it's not today.
Yeah.
Okay,
I guess
so
it's still
hopefully
going.
you're okay. We're weird. Okay.
I tried to remember what happened in previous 2 weeks, and I just wrote like a paragraph, and then I submitted it, and I don't know if she looked at it yet. She didn't want us to submit. Are we supposed to be submitting it under the like the journal assignment? Like, okay, and then just adding to it. I submitted like one thing saying after the first day, I was like, I really just got to know my students, and I feel like I don't have enough information to make any sort of assessment yet. And then I've been kind of keeping it like a personal, like it was, you know, very brief notes, like this is what I want to do next week, and this is what I think I can add to this, blah, blah, but I haven't turned them in. That's what I was doing. I just have like keeping like notes in my journal, but for like my
I'm taking notes and like making my
I have a binder that I bought for 434, and I guess for this class too, where I just keep the like some of the assessments and the mini lessons.
Yeah.
I'll try and make a little something, like a me even just a brief note.
And I'm curious if it's supposed to be more elaborate than that. Yeah. Very good.
We're just.
They weren't like it, that's anything different. First we did this, and then they didn't answer.
Okay.
So that's something we can all get started.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And then the next thing was about interviews.
the chapter 7 of What the Road.
Yeah, and other. So this interview thing, I feel like was really focusing on how to like incorporate teacher, student, and parent all together, which I feel like is really, really important when you're teaching, but I feel like that's not something that really applies to us in our service learning.
But there is a section at the end where it has questions for parents, and then if you scroll down a little further, it has interview questions for
I did like
children.
those. Okay. And it's cool because it has them in several different languages.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. I just don't know, we were talking kind of, we were talking in this video or before about how we weren't sure we would do interviews with our service learning students.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I don't know. It's kind of up for grabs.
Especially like, I don't think we'll ever have one-on-one time with the parents of our case studies. Because the point of the after-school program is, I mean, not the point, but you know, part of it is that a lot of them, their parents are home during that time. So that's why they're in after school. At least I know with my children, or my case study.
yeah, the other thing is that maybe we could get a chance to meet some of their parents because some of them do that 21st century thing.
Mhm.
Is that parent involved though? The after school part of the 21st century, do parents come to that?
They have like a deal with it, I think. I'm not sure.
See, but if we're not doing a meeting the parents, we can still incorporate some sort of interview the student. But going back to what we said earlier, if students have a hard time answering direct questions, think about how they would feel if we put a recorder in front of them.
And we were
and start-
preparing them, like I said before, oh, we're gonna interview you, and nothing to worry about, but, like the before steps.
This is what the interview is gonna be about.
Yeah, and it's just like that. I almost prefer it how casual it's been and more conversational with my kids that are students.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I put like that, like one is, the other one is
Yeah. Like the second you call anything a test in the classroom, it's automatically like that's
Yeah.
more scary. It's like a sit down interview kind of maybe.
And again, with the
I don't know, maybe you can just label it as an informal discussion between you and the student just to get more information.
talk about yourself. Like with my case study students, a lot of my assessments so far is just conversation. She asked me about my language and my son and what yourself and yeah.
Because maybe if you answer first, then you kind of use the format of how you should answer the question.
Mm.
So I guess most of us are just doing
Yeah, this session was pretty short on reading, and the two, I mean, interviews isn't an unfamiliar topic, but informal assessments is very, very familiar. So
Yeah, there's not too much you can dig deeper into it, I feel like.
it is hard because we've already done so much.
But I mean, yeah, I guess every time I read something else, I like see the importance of it or like see some new information about why it's important. But I think it would be really beneficial if we had one. Like if we got to the practice and we had one student.
Yeah.
What kinds of informal assessments did you guys say? There was a question about what other types of informal assessments have you used to support your students?
Yeah, when it to like content. Well, that question I was confused by. Was that question asking how like the content areas you work with them has like informally assessed their academic language? Is that what it was asking? Okay.
I took it as just like what other types of assessments.
Our main one, I feel like asking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How they do that, what kind of work about it. Yeah.
I feel like for me, like I'm always at Alderwood. I come while they're doing their silent readings, and so then I'm supposed to like have kids read to me or like work with my like student, and so like and then we do writing, and then like the day's over. So like I guess in some ways I can like if I keep good like logs, I could like use that as an assessment to see like progress over time. But like I've noticed that she definitely like she just like is excited to have me like there with her, and so she like I don't really think that she acts like the same. So I think it's kind of hard to tell just because I don't see her enough, and like it's once a week for like 2 hours. So by the time it's like yeah, exactly, because she's always like I need help, like this is so hard, like I need your help, and I'll come over. And like one time she said that, and it was just she was using a glue stick, and like they're third graders, and I was like, you can like glue like the paper together, like you just want me to come over here and hang out, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how like authentic that would be like in my case, but like I think that's a way that we could. We could also have like a conversation with your regular teacher about what support she usually does and like what kind of, I guess, you know.
What the teacher knows about them.
Yeah.
The teacher should know a lot about them.
Yeah, definitely. That's another hard thing with like all practicums is like there's never a good opportunity, at least for me, to like talk to the teacher. Yeah. Because like obviously the day is always so busy, and then even I'm there till the end of like the day, but as soon as the day ends, like the teachers all walk their classes to the bus. So like she just like disappears. And so like I'm like, okay,
I guess I talked about some, because I thought the question was aiming at like what other types of assessments have you like seen or have you done? And I was even talking about a thumbs up can be a type of assessment. You know, you stop in your lesson and say, give me a thumbs up if you understood what blah blah. You know, there's so many different ways you can assess what students know. It doesn't have to be just paper and pencil test or whatever. But I guess some teachers just fall back to that as like traditional testing.
One of the ways, I didn't mean to do this, but one of the ways I informally assessed my students for my mini lesson was I was like creating a vocab list. And I brought like markers and a big chart, and first I was going to go through the words with them, and I was going to write the vocab list, like as we were talking about it. Three of them were girls, and I had colored markers, so like they wanted to write it really bad, so I left them. And that ended up being a really good like informal assessment because it was like all of their writing, the three different girls could like compare their writing side by side and like see how their writing was different and like see what words they misspelled and what their struggles were and stuff. So that was the way that like they were excited about writing, but I still gotta like informally assess them.
I kind of did something like that on the first day of practicum, and I just like we had like 5 minutes left, and I was like, what's the hangman? And it's like I know pick. I had them pick words from like the word of book they were writing, and it was just like, huh, interesting. And then like I snapped pictures on my phone. And I was like, well, that actually makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like they're playing hangman.
Yeah. Anyway.
I like the assessment that we talked about. So it's like that. I'm trying to keep track of the name of it. Is like the oral close assessment.
Yeah.
Where they like fill in. You can do it like every like 7th or 5th word, or you can do it like parts of speech. So like all like past tense, like or whatever. And I think that that's something that I could probably make happen with my like student, but I would need to like plan it more because I don't really know what purpose I would serve like at this point. Like as far as like
take a topic.
Yeah.
Okay, weird question, but where did that CLOZ word come from?
I don't know.
What is that word?
Close. I can
It wasn't like an acronym or anything, it was like lowercase.
Yeah.
It was just like a normal word. Okay, I didn't know if I was like
I would be capitalized, right?
Well, no, like the first letter was capitalized and the rest weren't. So
It could have been someone's name.
so they didn't talk about it at all in the description of what that was. So
I don't know.
What was the whole name of it?
oral and written close.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a feeling of like
Yeah, I thought that was cool because like in linguistics, like in 432, they like, I remember like Jen Green was talking, made us do that thing where it's nonsense words, but you have to say like the part of speech it is just by like
the ending.
yeah, just like yeah. Well, yeah, it's just like a bunch of like nonsense, but you can tell based on like
Where it is.
yeah, your subconscious knowledge.
I wonder how our ELLs would do with that type of test.
That would be.
Yeah, that would be
It
really.
would probably be really hard.
Yeah. But that might be a good type of test in their native language to tell like where they are as far as like. That would be hard.
Unless you know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would definitely be.
Did you guys take a look at the Big Thin Calc checklist? Did you find that pretty helpful?
I like it a lot, yeah.
I like seeing it side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Specific examples too.
And then I like brought up the Solon assessment too, and I was like trying to compare the information.
Is the form assessment that's in the book the same one that she posted for us? Like, it's like a rubric and then you like put little checks. Yeah.
I think.
Or at least it has
Very,
like,
very.
it has time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same.
Yeah, I thought that the Big Thin Calc checklist where I said that I would prefer to use those before doing the Solon because it
You were looking for specific things instead of just like,
Yeah.
this is really general.
Yeah. That's pretty easy. I mean, if you just know your students pretty well and you've seen some of their work, you can just go through the checklist. No.
Yeah.
Just like that. You have to make the sound though.
Yeah.
Else the pen won't work.
Yeah, I think I might like print that out.
Yeah, the base and calc and the solemn too.
I
That
think
should be
before I
helpful.
can even think of it. I don't know, I can't read something on a computer. So one thing I was like,
Yeah.
it's easier to see like.
I don't know. I think it's fine, but maybe.
It drives me crazy. Like, I just hope every week that our meetings are gonna be like out of our book.
Yeah.
Even if it's like.
Pages is so much easier than scrolling back and forth. I'm like, wait, what page is that on? And then I'm like scrolling.
Yeah.
All about bookmarks.
I don't know, if she posts the book online, I'll just read it on my computer.
I just wanna add notes to this. I don't know. Yeah. Super disclaimer.
Yeah. Very true.
I don't know, I've been using computers since I was like 7.
More.
I don't know, 6 or 7.
I just came up like.
I saw a video today of this baby like swimming in the bathtub, like a little baby, like.
Well, isn't it almost like a natural reflex?
Yeah.
I don't know how to natural reflex.
It just looks weird.
There you go.
Baby.
Like a nirvana or something.
Yeah.
That's a preferred environment.